Welcome back to the channel collective. I'm happy to have you here. If this title resonates with you, then there's a message in here for you. I'm kind of excited that these past three readings or messages are kind of bouncing off of each other. So if this title resonates and you feel like it's for you, then definitely go check out some of the videos, like the past 2 or 3 videos before this one. I feel like we're still kind of around the topic of routines and patterns and habits. At least that's what we're going to talk about today. But the message today is regarding shaking up the energy, being more unpredictable. And it can maybe feel opposite to what I said in past days, but I just think this is an interesting point to think about, especially if you're somebody who is able to stick to a routine. You know what I mean? You have your ducks laid out. You know what time you do this, that, and the third. You're very consistent and you are comfortable in your habits, and your habits are great habits. See, I'm not talking about like toxic habits. I'm talking about like, oh yeah, you're motivated to get through the day. You have your planner. You're very organized, and like that's just a beautiful, fantastic thing. And I love that. I love that for you. However, and I only say these things because these are things that happen to me and I integrate them, so I have to share them. And it was brought up in my attention, in my awareness, that you're boring. what did what did Abby Lee say? Boring, sloppy. If y'all don't know, if you know, you know. But if you don't, just look up Abby Lee Miller. She's the Dance Moms lady, and she says she has this meme. It's like sloppy, boring. I'm not saying we're sloppy at all, but I will say life is a little bit boring, and with that, there's nothing wrong with life being boring and you being consistent. I applaud that. We applaud that. Spirit loves that. But I would say if you're in the same breath asking for change, wanting like maybe your finances to shift, or you're wanting something to come into your life just sporadically, the question you should ask, that you could ask yourself, is, am I in alignment with the idea of change? And I know that sounds weird to say, but we'll get into it. This is day number 16 of 31 days of divine insight and guidance. If this is resonating so far, hit that like and subscribe button, and welcome to the collective of mind that we're building. I love to have you here. I always love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section. And this is for everybody to expand. So if you have things that you've been through before, that you've worked through, that you've learned as well, insights that you've gotten, your intuition is speaking, share it. There could be things that, you're guided to share down in the comment section to help other people and to help me, to give me some clarity. So yes, back to boring, sloppy. And saying that we won't change, but doing nothing to cue the universe that you're open to change. And it's not saying that you don't welcome change, but I think, this is what I feel, I think our nervous systems are still somewhat opposed to changes. And I feel like the guidance today is to prime your nervous system, or start practicing change, ? And I don't even really mean put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I'm saying practice the feeling of in your control. And I feel like I'm kind of scattered with how I'm saying this, which is interesting. And I am recording this at a different time of day than I usually do. Not putting a blame on anything, but I'm just showing you that I've made changes. I've done like 10 things differently in the past 24 hours, 12 hours. And it's like, interesting. But when I mean practice change, I mean like making small shifts in your physical reality and letting that open up the space for for alignment. Okay, y'all, hold on. Let me think about this. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. So I'm not really backing up, but anyways, I'm going to read what I wrote down. I wrote one small decision equals 100-fold impact. And then I wrote down, sometimes you're just shifting vibration. Because I said sometimes it's not obvious or immediate. Like when you do something different and then obviously, a different cause equals a different effect. But what we're getting at is like a physical change, like a change to your routine is creating a internal spiritual emotional change that is way bigger than you realize it could be, right? So I said sometimes you're shifting your vibration into one that's aligned with change and excitement, only though if you allow yourself to really soak in the feeling of doing something different. It may feel cringe to get excited, but it's about practicing allowing change to happen. Don't treat small changes as insignificant. The more you get excited, the more change the universe brings. And I put the affirmation of I am aligned with change. Now that's it in a nutshell. So if that's all you need and you understood that, cool beans. You're free to go. I'm not going to hold you hostage. But if you want to keep listening, I have the examples of something that's a small decision that can have obvious impact. It's like, when you leave 5 minutes early and, maybe traffic is so different and you have an easier time getting to work, or you take a different route, and those are things that you have control over, or maybe not, but you can more obviously see what impact that has. Right? Sometimes we even see like, oh, if I would have left 5 minutes later, I would have been involved in all of that traffic. And when that wreck happened, oh my God, I just missed it. So we understand it in that way, where you made a small change and you've seen the impact. But can we practice that more often? And can we practice it in smaller ways just so we can shift our core vibration into one that is more open to change more often? ? Meaning, I'm gonna give you my examples. Last night I couldn't sleep. I've been waking up a lot in the middle of the night, so whatever, I'm over that. But I usually sleep on the right side of the bed, and then last night I was just like, let me sleep on the left side. Now, what change did that really make? I don't know. You can obviously feel the mattress is different. Did I sleep better? Don't think so. But that's just one example. And I guess I'm still trying to piece together how that has changed me. There's a Wicked song is coming up, and I don't know why, but I've been singing right before I started this is no one mourns the wicked, and I know that's not the same song I want to sing, but there's a song that I have been changed for good, right? Okay. All right, let's get it spirit. We'll talk about that in a second. I think I'm gonna try to look up those lyrics. I don't know if that's the same song, y'all, pardon me, but anyways, I slept on the other side of the bed. This morning, I washed my face I have 2 sinks, so usually I'm on the left sink, and today I used the right sink. Okay, cool, whatever. And I guess I'm still trying to piece together, like, what has that changed inside, and is that leading to more change? Am I now more open to changes? And the last thing is I wrote my notes today with a green pen instead of a black pen. Okay, cool. Maybe who cares? But I just decided to let me just pick up a different pen. It's like I feel like I'm more primed to accept doing something different. Like I'll do the same thing every day the exact same way. Even me deciding to record a little bit earlier seems to be like a part of the change. Like I'm open, right? And I think that's the key. Like I'm more open to experiencing something different. And so when I'm asking for a change to come into my life, my nervous system is already okay with something different. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get at, is that if you want change, but you are always stuck to your comfort zone. And I'm not saying it's a particular comfort zone. I'm saying the idea of change itself can be uncomfortable. even though we're asking for change in our lives. So if it makes you squirm and cringe to think about sleeping on the other side of the bed when you're so used to sleeping on this side, if it makes you cringe to switch up the order of your routine, if it makes you cringe to, or you're like, oh no, I don't want to take a different route. Oh no, even though I'm kind of intrigued in what would it be like, but you're like, no, I gotta stick to this. I gotta stick to this. Oh, I gotta stick to this. Oh, I love my, it's so crazy, but it's like, let's say just for the heck of it, you want a different toothbrush, but then you're like, nah, I don't need another toothbrush. I want my toothbrush. I love my toothbrush. What if I get a new toothbrush and I hate it and it's too hard and the bristles hurt my gums? And it's like, well, why do you have to do all that? Why can't you just try a new toothbrush, and if you don't like it, go back to the other brand? You know what I mean? And it's those feelings that we're addressing. Like, is there hesitation to change even when you're in control of the change? Are you always saying, no, I need to stick to this thing. No, I need to stick to this routine. No, I want to keep doing it the way I do it. It can be as simple as how you make your sandwich, y'all. Do you put the peanut butter on first? Do you put the jelly on? Can you try to put the jelly on first? Would that freak you out? And it's like, it could be silly things. That's what I'm saying. But if you're feeling so inflexible and rigid to changes you have control over, little things like that, what does that show about your energy? I feel like I'm just now getting into the meat and potatoes and finally getting what I'm trying to say out. What is that signaling? If you're the one in control of the change and you're resistant to the own changes that you could make, why would the universe come and wreck your whole nervous system with a boatload of money that you're asking for? It won't do that, because you're clearly showing that change is not for you. You're not even allowing new things to happen. It could be as simple as, hey, usually I fill up my entire day back to back to back. What if a change is I block out 1 hour and see what happens? That could be a change. Are you even allowing for something new to happen? Right? It could be as simple as that. And I feel like I'm getting on you, but I'm also getting on me, because this is funny, but at the same time, it's very real. And that's what I was saying. Like, we don't want to feel the cringe. We want to feel the excitement, because we want to start training ourselves to be excited by change so we can welcome in more. And ideally, we're welcoming in good change. And even if it's bad, you can roll with the punches and you'll be good, right? But it's practicing initiating change within your own life in little ways, number one. And then number two, assessing how we felt about the change. And I don't not only want us to not be cringe, like I don't want us to have a negative reaction to it, but I also want us to have such a positive emotion about it, like something that's almost ridiculously, why are you acting so ridiculously positive, that I got to experience the other side of the bed last night. It was so great. You can make stuff up and say, oh, I slept so well, or it wasn't that bad. Like, I kind of like the different perspective. I got to see the TV from a different angle. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, and I, stood on this side of the vanity, and, I had to reach for my products with my left hand and grab the things like that. And I got to use this sink that I barely use. And it's just like, oh, that was so cool. That was such a cool experience. I love that change. That was cool. Now I have more flexibility. Now I'm okay with it, can go either way, right? Y'all know them kids when they're talking about 6'7", 6'7". It's kind of like that. Anyways. So maybe that resonates with somebody. But I'm just saying, the more we can kind of get excited about the change that we are creating and like almost hype ourselves up about how awesome it was, and like, oh, I loved it so much, not only does that open you up to making more changes, because it's like, oh, that was so great, even though, it might not be nothing. But if you're treating change as in like, oh, whatever, boring, sloppy, if you're like looking at changes and you don't really care about it, what makes you think that, okay, and this, pardon me if I'm like ruffling feathers, I don't know, but what makes you think that the universe wants to give you something that you're not going to be excited about? And I know the rhetoric of your desire shouldn't be exciting, right? It should feel normal to you. I understand that, but you got to admit that if there's a positive change coming into your life, you would be excited about it. You're excited about the change. We're not talking about the specifics. We're just talking about, oh my gosh, something different is happening. That is exciting. That is what I want. I love that. So if you're treating the changes that you're experiencing as like, whatever. It's like, well, dang, you just took the excitement out of that. You're just you're just keeping your vibration low for what reason? I feel like I'm just barking right now. And I apologize, but I say it in a way for myself too. Like, hey, if you're asking for change, what is your response to change? Are you resistant to change? And I'm not talking about what the change is. I'm just saying the change. Are you stuck in your comfort zone of a certain way things happen? Right? The timing of things. Not saying, I don't want to give more examples, but you got the examples of like, you're not changing when I go to sleep. You're changing what side of the bed I sleep on. You're not changing, I'm going to change my facial routine. Is what side of what sink am I using? You know what I mean? It's little things like that. So I'm just saying, are you open to change? When you do experience change, are you treating it like it was nothing? Are you scared of change? And I know we're all asking for changes in our lives. And I feel like I'm going around and around in circles. So I guess I'm going to just stop talking now. But maybe somebody needed more and more conversation. But, the affirmation is I am aligned with change. And I'm going to look up the song from Wicked. And we're going to see what that is about. I don't even know what it's called. First of all, I want to say it's called For Good. Of course, it's by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. I love how the timestamp on Spotify, this is 6 minutes and 17 seconds, because I was definitely talking about some 6-7. So, oh man, okay. Let me look at some of these lyrics. Maybe I should just read them all. I'll start from the beginning. I'm limited. Just look at me. Not with your eyes, with theirs. I'm limited. And just look at you. You can do all I couldn't do. Okay. Someone said, I'm limited. Just look at me, not with your eyes, with theirs. I'm limited. And look at you. You can do all I couldn't do, Glenda. Okay. Then the next stanza, here, take it. What? But I can't read this. Well, you have to learn, because now it's up to you. For both of us. Now it's up to you. This don't sound like it would be sung, but whatever. This may or may not resonate. I'm gonna keep reading though. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow, if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I am who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Yeah, what are we talking about? This might not have nothing to do with nothing. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much in me is made of what I learned from you. Oh, that's beautiful though. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now, whatever way our story ends, I know you have written mine by being my friend, like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Part of this feels like it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than... You're part of something way bigger. Bigger than you. Bigger than me. That's by Beyonce from the album. I don't know what the album's called, but interesting. What am I saying? This is messy today. That's okay. If you're still listening, you're a real one. But for some reason, this feels bigger now because the lyrics to me feel like when we embody change easily, or when we accept change easily, we change others. Like, they can see us changing and being open and being flexible. It allows other people to feel okay with changing, being flexible, doing something they wouldn't have done before. And that is super impactful. And you remember when I said earlier, I said one small decision can be a 100-fold impact. And you don't really sometimes know what that impact is. And now I'm thinking that sometimes that impact is bigger than your life. Ooh-wee, right? Maybe you decide to, I don't know, maybe you work at a place and you decide to just do something off the wall different. And then that shifts the whole culture of the company. And suddenly they're implementing these different things because of you. Because I knew you. I have been oh, y'all. I have been changed for good. And that's a beautiful thing, to have your energy of, like, let's even say there's a change happening in a space where everybody is resistant, and you're like, hey, maybe it won't be so bad, because now you're in the energy of accepting change, right? You done practiced it. And instead of being like nervous like everybody else, you're like, no, I think this would be a great thing, or this is exciting regardless. Like, I'm ready for a shakeup in the energy. And it's like, that alone shifts everybody's frequency to one of, like, hope and optimism and excitement instead of fear and dread and boring, sloppy. I like that. But it does start with us and recognizing where we are uncomfortable with change first. And how can we practice asking ourselves, how can we practice implementing small changes and then building up to bigger changes? You don't have to jump all the way into the deep end, because, you want to practice building that up, a little bit at a time. But, so I encourage you, maybe sleep on the other side of the bed tonight. Maybe put your feet where your head usually is, and your head where your feet usually are. Just do it for the plot at this point. Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna do it for the plot. I like that. And you really never know what that will lead to, externally or internally. And that's the excitement of it all. And I kind of want you to see, well, what happens when I do something different? Maybe nothing, but what happens inside? What happens to you inside when you make one small adjustment? When now that your toothbrush is green, well, let's do a little bit better color. Now that your toothbrush is yellow, okay. Now that your toothbrush is white instead of purple, you know what I mean? Like, does that do something to your brain? Does it make you happier? I don't know. But let's just be excited about a different option, a different opportunity, something being shook up in the energy. Got a new body wash, got a new soap that I never tried before. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see. And if I'm excited about this, I can start being excited about bigger things. And now when the thought of, I could win the lottery. What if I get relocated to a different city because my job is giving me better opportunities? Now you're more primed to be like, absolutely yes. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. And even if it's something small, like, I don't know, y'all. I'm just trying to think of examples at this point. Leave some examples down in the comment section of a little change that, people can make, or a little change that you have made. And what did it do? What did it do? Did it change anything externally? Did it change anything internally? Did you notice any shifts in your vibration? Okay. I'm going to stop yapping now. I think that's all. Was there another song I was going to go? Burping, sorry. Is there another song that I was going to go find? Should I keep reading these lyrics for good? I guess the last thing I'll say in regards to these lyrics is it just keeps resonating with, like, I don't know, or who can say if I've been changed for the better, but I do believe I have been changed for the better. But regardless, I've been changed for good. And it's not really like I've been changed for good versus bad. Like, it's like, oh no, we're done for good. It's over for good. Like, it's a finalization. It's like you will never really know if a change is going to be for the best. But you'll know that regardless of what happens, it's going to change you in ways that are permanent. And even if that means I am now open to change and I take every change with a sense of optimism, and now every time I look at change, I'm excited and hopeful and I'm not scared, that's a change for good. Meaning you're always now going to address change like that. You're not going to be back and forth. And that's on identity work. And that's on I am. I am changed for good. I welcome good. I welcome change. I am change. And I know that's right. Okay, I'm done talking, y'all. Okay, bye.